Lacrosse fans, I'm Gabe Henderson, joined by Patrick Strawn, previewing the last home game of the Liberty Flames men's lacrosse season. And Pat, we saw this past weekend here. It was a midnight game. Pitt Panthers came in here. The Flames took care of business. Not in the prettiest way, though. They started out strong, but didn't finish strong the way a lot of fans would have saw it. But a win is a win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you kind of touched on it. I mean, the Flames did really start out strong, and at times they look really dominant. You got to more so credit what Pitt was able to do because, I mean, they had that never say never mentality, and they honestly fought their way back and making it a close game than it probably should have been. But I think for the Flames, you got to be happy you still won against an opponent you were supposed to beat. But at the same time, you kind of let the momentum that you brought into that game kind of slip away, and now you got to kind of retune and refine things, getting ready for a much tougher test against not only a good team in Virginia Tech, but even more so in a rival and for the regional championship.
And before we get to Virginia Tech this past weekend, Caleb Britton, he retuned this game, refined this game the way you were talking before. 9 points. How impressed were you see him just to be able to turn up against such a great game this past weekend?
Well, I think that's huge for, I think, if you're a fan of the Flames, and even more so for the coaching staff to know that, hey, your big-time player is going to make big-time plays. Caleb Britton, as you said, 9 points, 6 goals, 3 assists. I mean, honestly, look at times he could score at will or even create a play. I mean, he's the playmaker for this team, and I don't think he was the only one getting it done. Sam Gregory had a great game. I mean, honestly, he's been probably the most balanced attackman, not only on the team, but on the conference, now leading the way of 52 points. Chase Wright, he was just feeding guys left and right. I mean, total to 5 assists in that contest. So, I mean, a lot of guys were getting it done on the offensive end. So it was a good, well-balanced game, I think, offensively for them. But at the same time, like, defensively, you kind of tighten things up a little bit more because you don't want to give up 12 goals, I think, against a team in the pit like you were supposed to be. And I don't expect now we're going to talk about Virginia Tech, it to be as high as scoring affair because that's going to be a really stingy and tight defensive matchup.
You talk about Virginia Tech. I mean, this is a game, if you're not up for it by this point in the week, you're not going to be ready for this game. Yeah. So there's national implications on this game. There's so many things tying into a rival game. Bragging rights, state bragging rights, but what are you expecting, just from this game this weekend against Virginia Tech?
I mean, for the Flames, I think, honestly, it's kind of you control your own destiny. I mean, if you win this game, you set yourself up for winning the region title. You set yourself up for a better matchup in the SCLC playoffs instead of going against a number one from against another region champ. You set yourself up with going against a 2 from a region. You set yourself up potentially with getting another marquee win against another ranked opponent, which kind of cements yourself if you don't win the conference to get at least an at-large bid. I mean, so many things are on the line, and as I said just a minute ago, you control your own destiny. And so for the Flames, they definitely really got to go into this saying, like, hey, we know what we can do, we know what team we can be, and we know how to play. And the biggest thing, don't get into that lull that we've seen over the season they've got into. You honestly, once you put the foot on the gas, you need to kind of drive it home and don't give Tech an inch in this game and kind of go full pedal to the metal.
And we talk about Tech a little bit. They struggled a bit this weekend against South Carolina. They were up 6-0 and then lost 11-10. So you think they're going to come here with a chip on their shoulder as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be senior night for the Flames and their last home game. Tech wouldn't have left them nothing better than not only to ruin senior night and also even more so be able to beat the Flames on their last home game of the season. So for Virginia Tech, they're looking to pull an upset because they are going to be the lower-ranked team. And even for them, national implications are on the line for them as well as region implications. I mean, everything I just said a minute ago for the Flames fans, it's on the line as well for the Hokies. So, like I said, it's going to be a very tight defensive game, and it's just a matter of whoever can win the face-off battle and control time of possession. That's going to be the one that's going to be the difference maker.
Well, Pat, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Of course, this weekend against Virginia Tech, there's nothing else we can do or say. I'm sure the Flames are ready. The Hokies are ready. The game will be broadcasted on the Big South Network at 8 o'clock p.m. this weekend. So if you cannot join us here at the Lacrosse Fields, be sure to join us online. For Patrick Strawn, I'm Gabe Henderson for LFSN, signing off.